Good morning. I'm Ken. I'm the home inspector, and so we're talking about the house on Cheltenham. I guess that's how you say it.
I've been debating with that all day.
It's English, so whatever, however they would do it. So this house was built in the mid '90s, and there's a lot of products in this house that originally probably had problems, and many of them have been addressed, which is a very good thing. So we'll start with windows. They've all been replaced. The original windows would have been a wood frame window that had problems. So somebody paid a bunch of money to make it right. We're good. I'm good with that. The outside of the house on the front, this is a synthetic stucco. People call it by very many different names, but it is EIFS, Exterior Insulating Finish System. What that is a styrofoam-based stucco. So it's a 1-inch piece of styrofoam that's glued, literally, glued onto the plywood decking, and then they finish it with this polymer coating that gives it the texture and originally the color.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with the product. It is waterproof and it is a good insulator. The issues with that typically however you say that, with the installer.
Okay.
They frequently didn't do it right. And this one, I can see where repairs have been made, and I can see where the details that typically were either incorrect or incomplete during the original vintage of this home have been now corrected.
Okay.
And so that's all really, really good. So really the key thing with this kind of stucco is just make sure that wherever the stucco meets anything else, it stays well sealed up.
Okay.
So the windows have aluminum cladding around them. So where the aluminum meets the window and where the aluminum meets the stucco, make sure that stays caulked up. Right now it looks pretty decent. But other than that, there's not a whole lot that has to be done. Really about the only remaining oddity with the stucco is on the back with the chimney. It's very visible that the bottom 3 or 4 feet got repaired on the chimney chase, which is the box going up. And you're really not supposed to run the stucco down into the ground. And the reason is it has more to do with termites than anything, because it provides kind of a concealed safe haven for termites to come up and you can't see it.
Okay.
What looks like stucco on the foundation is basically just a coating, so that's not a concern.
On the block?
On the block.
Okay.
But at the back, that goes in the ground. I didn't see anything from a termite standpoint in the back where that is, but every once in a while, Mr. Termite Guy may kind of say something about it and want something extra just to make sure everything stays good.
Okay.
From that standpoint. The
So
siding.
keep a bond for sure.
Perfect. Siding on the back of the house is, generically people call it Masonite. Masonite's a brand. That is a wood fiber material. It's a product that was the siding of choice for the 60s, 70s, 80s, and through the 90s. This one is in pretty decent shape.
Okay.
It is a product that needs to be painted to protect it, but it's in decent shape at this point. You can tell where they've done some repairs, especially along the bottom edge of the siding, especially on the back, along that way. There's a repair piece there, which is fine. But all that to say, that will require maintenance at some point.
Okay. Painting and keeping up with.
Painting and caulking.
Got it.
Basically.
Understood.
Roof-wise, dimensional architectural, 30-year shingle. Do you have any disclosure on how old that is?
I have to look again. It was on the, I have to, honestly, I've got to look. I think it was on the newer side, but now I can't remember.
Well, the only thing on a roof that's got a date are the rubber pieces that go around the pipes that stick up. These said, the ones that I could read said 2019.
Okay.
So that's like some odd years old.
Okay.
So we're in the late first third, early middle third of the life of the roof, which
Okay.
is fine. So we have a decent remaining life on the roof.
Okay.
From a structure standpoint, attic-wise, you got a pull-down step and a walk-in attic. I'm okay with what I saw from a structure standpoint. Insulation above is typical for the age, which means it's got some age to it and it's a little bit packed down.
Yeah.
Room for air improvement, but not bad. House is built on a crawl space. This is probably the largest concern that I've got with the house.
Okay.
So access is in the back corner, and it's an easy hands and knees crawl. You can get everywhere. The first thing you notice when you first go in the crawl space is that all of the floor structure is green.
The fungal.
And that is a fungus treatment.
Okay. He told me they had one a couple years back.
Well, this green fungus that was like 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Now, there may have been something beyond that, but the reason why it's green is when they first started doing fungal treatments years ago, they did it green. And so the whole thing is green underneath.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
there still is quite a few areas with a white fungus on them.
Okay.
There are times when bugs companies do fungus treatments and they spray it and things don't go away, they just make it go inactive. So hard to say how much of that is still current or how much is from some years ago with a previous treatment. But it's pretty widespread.
Okay.
So this crawl space, I don't see anything that has significantly changed to make this a less humid crawl space. So it's.
I think they've only done a vapor barrier, right?
I think that's probably the original one.
Okay.
If it's replacement, it's been there for a little bit.
Okay. He told me at one point they had a treatment and the gutters were just dispersing right
That
there.
adds to it.
So they fixed that, and so that's all. That's why I knew about the treatment.
So you can have a bone dry crawl space but still be very humid. But this one also gets some moisture. There is a sump pump in the back right corner.
Okay.
And it functions, but all it does is the back right corner. And there's some other areas like back, I think, underneath the family room maybe. There's a little bit of standing water in there. We haven't had rain for a while, so it gets in. And when it gets in, it's stuck.
Can't get out.
It just can't get out. So that one little sump pump might help a corner, but it doesn't do much for
The whole
anything
thing.
else. So all that to say, we get moisture in and it does get periodically humid. Those kind of things contribute to significant indoor air quality issues. We've done a mold test. The results will be back in 2 business days.
Okay.
And based on those results,
So that'll be Monday,
what is today? Thursday?
Thursday.
It'll be Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. So but the results, we're just barely into spring. And so it's not super hot outside yet. But typically when a crawl space is humid and dampish, there are certain varieties of molds that get elevated in the house. And it'll be interesting to see where those are at. And usually that is the kicker to make people, oh, we need to make downstairs better. I think in general it would be better if downstairs was better. But there are multiple companies that will do improvements from water management to humidity control, and there's so many variations on that, and the sky's the limit on what you could pay.
Right.
You could pay a moderate amount
Encapsulation.
and lots.
Got it.
So if the mold results came back as just terrible, then I'd say, yeah, we can go
Do the
go wild on
encapsulation.
it.
Okay.
If they come back marginal, then the thought would be, well, it will be worse in the summer. And you still may want to think about doing something down there.
Got it. So like another sump pump, dehumidifier.
Yeah,
things
close
like
the
that.
vents, dehumidifier, or go full on sealing or whatever.
Got it. Okay, understood.
From a structure standpoint underneath, most everything looks fine. There was a point in time when there was some moisture leakage in the front corner of the dining room.
Okay.
That was due to some flashing problems that have now been corrected,
Okay.
and they've made a repair underneath there. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
Underneath the front door, that must have been really bad. And so there's new framing up underneath the front door. I think some of the wood flooring is new.
Mhm.
Maybe even the door is new. But so there are repairs under the front door, but it's not complete. So there's still some deteriorated lumber, and from the crawl space, you can see a little bit of daylight at the corners of the door.
Okay.
So it's not like you have to rebuild everything, but that it's the sill area, which is the piece on top of the foundation,
Okay.
right under the front door, that needs some more correction. So
Okay.
it's not thousands and thousands of new door, it's not that, but
Needs some attention.
pull out some more damage, put some new back in,
Okay.
and seal better up outside. From a system standpoint, electrically, pretty modern. There's not a lot of
90s.
difference from the 90s to now. There might be a few odds and ends electrically, but nothing strange.
Mhm.
Plumbing wise, it looks like they may have replaced the water line coming in. So there's a new pipe coming into the house, but then the rest of it's copper. Nothing wrong with copper. Plastic drain pipe. And other than maybe some fixtures that might be original, still work, but not bad. You know, we're normal stuff from a plumbing standpoint. The water heater was, what was it? (2014).
Okay.
12 years old.
Got it.
So we're not new anymore, but we're not ancient. We're just kind of getting into that
Somewhere in the middle.
later part of its life.
Okay.
So generally speaking, once they go beyond 15, then you start saying, oh, okay, someday.
Budget for it.
Yeah. Heating and cooling, 2 separate systems. Main level is a gas package, big box on the side of the house that does the gas furnace and electric air conditioner all in the big box.
Okay.
It is 2009. So that is 17 years old.
Okay.
That one is getting some age to it. So, so that one, start budgeting for that one. Upstairs is a split system furnace air conditioner. So there's a gas furnace in the attic, air conditioner outside. Those were 2011s.
Okay.
So they're 15 years old. So heating and cooling standpoint, they're working.
They're functional.
But we are
getting
getting some age to them.
Okay.
One thing that really needs to be done now, heating and air wise, is at some point in the past, and I don't think it was recent, something had gotten into the crawl space, and there are at least 3 sections of ductwork that are torn up.
Okay.
So the crawl space is getting air conditioned as we speak. And
so gotta repair some of those
so
ducts.
I recommend replacing at least 3 runs of duct.
Okay.
And probably clean out the ductwork because you don't know if anything got in.
Got it.
So it would be better if we had some repair and some cleaning with that. Talked about that. And then coming to the inside of the house, looked pretty good. Appliances did their thing with the exception of the disposal. That's all locked up. So it's rusted inside. It hadn't been used in a long time.
So we just need a new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of all appliances, that is the cheapest one.
Right.
So,
pretty easy.
And I was able to get everything to run except for the gas logs. And I think they may not have been used for a long time.
Okay.
I could hear gas hissing,
Okay.
but it just didn't want to light. So it may need to be bled.
Okay.
So I don't see anything damaged, but I was unable to get that one started. And there are other odds and ends. So big picture, crawl space, moisture and humidity, I think that's number 1.
Okay.
Kind of a step down from that is a little bit more repair under the front porch. Budgeting for heating and cooling, 2 systems, but dealing with the damaged ductwork with the holes.
Okay.
And Then beyond that, it's house stuff.
House maintenance.
There you go. So what to expect from me? You'll get an email from me later this evening.
Mhm.
That'll put you to a dashboard where the inspection report will be. You'll get 360 pictures of the entire place. You will also get a floor plan of the house. That takes a couple of days. So you won't see any buttons or links to the floor plan tonight, but you'll get an email in a day or two that will say it's ready, and it will be on the dashboard.
Okay.
There'll be another button that has information about all of the appliances, and we'll flag them if they're recalled. That's called the home manual. When the mold report comes back, I'll send an email. They'll say it's ready, and
Okay.
that will also be on this dashboard. There'll be a link to it, and it will explain everything about that.
Awesome.
So,
And were you able to check out that little third? It's not necessarily
utility garage. Yep.
utility garage. Okay, because he
Yes.
left the key. Perfect.
It was unlocked.
Oh, it was unlocked.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. I'll
hope
get
it all
this-
goes well. And any questions when you get all this stuff, let me know.
All right. Thank you, guys.